much. I don't know what Eric was expecting when he announced that there was a Teacher of the Year in the room. So, thanks so much for having me. This is an amazing crowd, a great turnout. And thank you all for supporting this Democratic slate. I've had a chance to look, and I cannot tell you, I don't have the words to express how deeply concerned I am about our local boards of education. There is nothing that I can do at the federal level that will protect our children at the local level. And that's why these candidates are so incredibly important. We are at you've heard it before, this inflection point where we are aligned by our values, and it is up to us to work for those values. It is up to us. When I decided to run for Congress, when people said, she's just a teacher, I said, that was the best training I could have ever had for this job. Because being a teacher prepares you to care about other people's children. And right now, we are the party that cares about other people's children. It is not just about caring about our families and what's good for us. It is about uplifting communities. And that is so important. I'm not hyper-partisan. I'm a real Democrat, but I'm not hyper-partisan, or at least I thought I wasn't until now. Because let me tell you something. When we took a vote for the American Rescue Plan, I voted yes for the $1 billion in relief that came back to the state of Connecticut, because every person in every community that I talked to was struggling. Because every person wanted to make sure we had access to a vaccine. Every person wanted to make sure our local businesses were supported. Every person wanted to make sure our sheltered venues and our libraries were supported and could reopen safely. Every person wanted to make sure that we addressed the issue of hunger and food security as we navigated our way out of this pandemic. Every Republican in the House and the Senate voted no. Every single one of them. So right now, we are the ones that are holding the line. And it is so important. People come out in droves on presidential elections, on national elections, when there's a governor on the ticket. But it's these local elections where quiet revolutions happen, where people are sleeping and they don't show up, where a small number of people turning out can flip a town. And that's what makes the difference, because it doesn't matter what I do at the federal level. The only way you feel it is if you have state and local electeds that align with your values and care about the things that you care about. This is so important. I can't tell you, it's scary important. Last week, we got called back to Congress and we voted on reauthorizing the Voting Rights Act. And again, no Republican voted for it. This is the first time. Every administration has reauthorized the Voting Rights Act. This is the first time no Republican has voted for it. So right now, Democrats, I'm telling you, it's us. We're all we got. We have to hold the line. We have to take care of our communities. And I could not be more proud of every district, every community I go to in the state. You have all recruited some dynamic people to come off the sidelines, to enter this fight, to do their part. You have all stood up and said, you tell me what I need to do to help these people get elected. And I could not thank you more, because the only way that I can do my job is if you guys do your job. And every single one of you are doing that job. So thank you so much for all your hard work. Thank you to our candidates. In both of these towns, I'm telling you, if you don't do anything else, make sure you are electing Democrats on the Board of Education. Make sure you are putting Democrats in the decision-making chairs to make sure that our kids who can't get vaccinated can wear a mask in school to learn full-time in person. To make sure our kids who can't get vaccinated are in buildings where the adults are doing what they have to do to keep them safe. To make sure our kids who can't get vaccinated have rational people making those decisions for them. If you don't do anything else, make sure that you take every ounce of energy that you have. I'm getting emotional talking about this because we've already seen what this pandemic did to our elderly at the beginning. I can't even fathom thinking about a wave that affects our children in the same way. Put Democrats on your boards of education. Put Democrats on your boards of education. The only reason I'm here today before you is because I had a community that stood up for me, because other people saw something in me and created opportunities to make sure that I had a space to thrive. Right now, every single one of us is called to that same action. To do what we can as the responsible adults in the room, as the advocates, as the people with agency, to speak up and protect the most vulnerable of us, those who cannot. Nothing is more important than that right now. So I thank you all. You know, when we're talking about zoning commissions and our city councilmen and all these people, those are the ones that decide where all this federal funding is going. Those are the ones who decide which programs are important enough to a community to invest in. So please, please, do not sit this one out. Do not let anyone that you love sit this one out. I know we're all exhausted and fatigued by elections and political campaigns and cycles, but this is not politics. This is policy. This is policy, because every day I have to make decisions at the federal level that affect people at the state. And those decisions only trickle down to you and your communities if the people who are in these communities also making decisions are aligned with your values. So please, make sure you continue to support this ticket. Do all that you can to get all of these tremendous candidates elected. I got 2 great DTC chairs who have been doing all that they can. And once after the election, then we work on healing our communities and bringing people back together. Then we work on having some collaborative dialogue and discussion and bringing our Republican friends back to the table to say, let's start legislating forward. But right now, we have to protect our children and our communities. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman, as always. You know, when she talks about the quiet revolution, we know Congresswoman Hayes is anything but quiet. And we need... Love you. What? You know you're not quiet. I'm shy. You're not shy. Stop it. Stop it. So, folks.